Hey bitches.
Hey bitches.
I'm Joey.
I'm Ashley.
And welcome to
One Time
Mystery.
What a mystery. You're so welcome.
It was almost Screamo. I liked it.
You're so welcome.
Yeah. If Screamo was whispering.
Yeah, I would get that.
That's 100% it. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're back.
We are certainly back. For the better, for the worse, I don't know.
No one-hit wonder over here.
Well, one pump chump maybe.
Oh, girl.
Boom. Get it.
Get it.
Right? The goal is to come. I can't start this podcast off with coming.
Well, it's better than going, so...
2 seconds in, I'm like,
Oh, you're already coming after 2 seconds?
Yeah, that's it. 2 pump chump, I told you. Get in, get off, get out. That's the motto.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
We told you there'd be shit talk, and...
Hey. I hope you guys listened to last week's podcast where Ash regaled us with the story of Ivan Old Mate Millette.
What's regaled? I like when you use big words. And then I'm like, yeah, what does that mean? No, seriously, what does that mean? He's giving me the sassiest fucking look.
You have your phone, right? You can research.
I thought you were looking... You can research.
You little bitch.
Little boss-ass bitch.
You little boss-ass bitch.
Wait, what was the word again?
Regale.
How you spell that?
Oh my god. Just use Siri.
Regale. Oh, regale. Oh, entertain or amuse. Well, just fucking say it. Oh, with talk. I always find that so weird, like, because I'm so dumb. I'm street smart, not book smart. And I'm just getting the worst look from Joe. I wish you could see it, Joey. Joe.
Shabadoo.
Like, why can't you just say that?
I am just going to dumb myself down from now on.
Get to Ashley level.
No. I'm not stooping that low. I'm kidding.
We love each other.
We do.
It's
quite disgusting.
It's actually gross.
Yeah, it's revolting. Speaking of revolting, do you have any phobias?
Oh, yes. Oh, it's going to give me goosebumps. I think it's a phobia. I'm already thinking about it now. So as a kid, I found out I fucking hate when if you get like an icy pole and it's making me and you bite on it and just fucking like pull it out while your teeth are clamping. Can you see my goosebumps?
I'm visually impaired. That's such a racist question.
Goosebumps. You know that feeling of
I don't know
like
if that's
cold...
a phobia.
Oh, look at that. Look at that shit. Goosebumps all over my arms from just thinking of that. And cotton buds. If you like roll cotton buds. If you roll cotton buds.
I'm rolling my cotton buds.
Pulling it apart. I'm doing the actions of it, but you can't see that. That gives me the heebies.
When you say cotton buds, do we mean the things you clean your ears out or cotton balls?
Cotton balls.
Cotton balls.
Them cotton balls.
Them cotton balls.
Maybe they're not phobias, but they're the only things that
probably
freak me
just
out.
gross you out a little bit.
They're the only things that grind my gears.
Like, you know how people will be like absolutely deathly scared of spiders?
No.
Or like trypophobia, which I don't I have, but only when it comes to human skin.
What the fuck is trypophobia?
It's
I was like fear of tripping.
I'd love to trip. That ain't it. No, it's like a cluster of holes.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't
So
know that.
I don't mind it when I see it in a wall or whatever, like that. That does not bother me. But if I see that indentation in skin, for example, if they had a cluster of like blackheads or...
Really?
That grosses me. They freak out.
Huh.
I can't do it. I also have... I can't remember what it's called, but it's a fear of seeing large objects submerged in deep water.
So if you saw a big old dick submerged in deep water, that would just freak you out.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's Moby Dick. But not like in or on the surface of the water. It's if I can see them like... Go,
no offense, but that's weird.
I don't feel offended by it. I didn't choose that lifestyle.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure. And then there was the other phobia that I no longer have.
Oh.
Which you knew about that one.
Oh.
I don't know if we can say it on here.
No.
I'm reformed.
Yeah. He's a recovering
Addict.
No. Of things.
Of things that we shall not speak of.
But if you know.
If you know, you know.
You know.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you might know.
Probably.
Because probably only our friends are listening. Hi, friends.
Whoa.
No, I'm kidding. You're all our friends now.
They can be your friends. I'm good. I have my friends. I'm
It was
kidding.
funny the other day, I got a message from someone, and I used to get this all the time, and they'd be like, oh, hook me up with your friends. And I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. You actually think I have friends.
Oh my God, same.
I'm like, I got one or two.
I've had that.
That's it. And they're either not looking or they're with someone.
Well, see,
I don't have friends.
mine is because I keep my social circle very small because I hate people. But I've had situations where they're like, hey, you should get all of your friends together. We can all meet. We can all mingle, do that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, not at all.
The gang's all here.
Yeah.
My hand.
I know. This is everyone I need.
Yeah.
Old righty.
Yeah. I don't understand how those people can have like a butt ton of friends. And like my best friends, there's like 7 of them.
That's just not for me. That's not my...
Too much
That's not my thing. But you know what else I don't understand? When people have more than one best friend, you can't.
Can't you?
No. And I'll tell you for why.
Are you coming at me? I've got 2 best friends.
No, you don't. Because best means that they're at the pinnacle of that friendship, right?
Yeah.
You can't have 2 people that are your best friend because one inevitably has to be better than the other.
Yeah.
And that's me. For you. So
yeah. But what if they're 2 different people?
No.
And they're just No. Yeah, but we're family. So yeah. Last time we spoke about old mate Malat.
Yeah, I have an old mate Malat.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, he probably died in his own shit. He was in a nappy.
I hope so.
He was so gross.
So gross.
Anyway, this week we are traveling away from Australia.
Oh,
we're traveling to America, girl.
America.
Yeah, America.
Only in America.
And not just anywhere, but South Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah. Where they have those accents. I don't even know if that's how they talk.
Like,
I don't know.
That sounds southern.
South Carolina, you dumb fuck.
That sounds southern, you fuck. I can't.
We're going to South Carolina.
Funny,
but that sounds southern.
In my head, I'm thinking of like Houston or Texas. So that's where my mind went to. Oh, I just hit the things. That's where mine went. Went to southern. Yeah, so South Carolina.
We're going to South Carolina. And my topic is on a gentleman, I say gentleman loosely, by the name of Todd Kohlhepp.
Sorry, say it one more time.
Todd Kohlhepp, the Titus.
I was like, hep?
Yeah, word association. But he was dubbed the Amazon review killer.
Oh, what year? What? Oh, sorry.
What year?
What year is this?
Do you want me to start?
I'm going to shut your mouth so I can talk.
I said his name. That's as far as I got. Well, as in what year did he do, like, did he write the...
Like when it all started, which if I hold on to my butt, I'll find it out, won't I?
Do you have your butts?
I got my butts.
I've got my butts.
And I got my tatas too.
Yeah. Grip your nips, because we're getting into it.
Okay.
So when I first started looking into this guy, I won't lie, the title that he was given as the Amazon review killer was what drew my attention to him, and straight away I was like, oh my God, that's such a good gimmick.
Yeah.
But like, don't do it. But it's kind of also like genius. But basically his span, I guess you could say, of like murders and stuff, as far as they've gotten into, was between 2003 and 2016.
Oh, shit.
However, upon an interview that he did after he was arrested, he did confess to another murder that took place when he was like 14.
Fuck.
I won't go into too much detail because there wasn't a lot about it, but that happened. It was like a gang initiation, and he and his friend had nothing to do with that, but the initiate ended up shooting his friend.
Fuck.
And then he went for blood, so he went and found him and he shot him and killed him as well.
At 14.
At 14.
Fucking hell.
It comes out later on in this that Todd Kohlhepp actually had a really high IQ, which is messed up.
Yeah.
But his was classified as high average, which I think is between 110 and 119, and he was 118. So he was considered to be pretty smart.
Yeah.
Anyway, like most of these ratbags,
Yeah.
they didn't have a great upbringing. There's not a lot of information, and it was kind of getting diluted when I was looking at different resources. Some would say that it was a bit more traumatic than what it was, and others were like, it really wasn't that bad. So like most of these people, they had a pretty tumultuous upbringing. When he was 2, his parents divorced. His mum ended up remarrying to this dude. They didn't... It was recorded that he had an unhealthy relationship with his stepdad. They never really discussed what that meant. They didn't go into detail as to how it was unhealthy. When anyone says something's unhealthy, you could go one of two ways. Like it's either a toxic relationship where there's just violence, or there's an unhealthy sexual relationship potentially that's happening.
Yeah.
But that's just my theory. I don't know because I don't actually go into that sort of information at all. He wanted for the longest time to move in with his dad in Arizona, even though at this point he hadn't seen him for like 8 years. Like his dad up and went and left and they were done. Once that divorce happened, he stayed with his mum. And
did they keep in contact with their dad, or not too sure?
Well, he hadn't seen him for 8 years. I don't know if he had. Like there was no real mention of that.
Yeah.
Like other crazy little fuckers that grow up and turn out to be crims, it's reported that he destroyed not only his bedroom, but furniture that his mum bought with a hammer. Just because.
Shit.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, I don't like that. Maybe it's like...
Who the fuck does that?
Maybe it's like, oh my god, that fabric doesn't go with my shoes. I don't like it. I'm getting worried about it.
Whack, whack.
Whack, whack. Get out. Get out of my house. He wasn't gay, by the way, but he's a little bitch, so I just...
It's nice to make fun of them.
It really is. It's great. So not only did he do that, but he also broke other children's items. So if he was at like a daycare or school or whatever, if someone had something, he would just destroy it because he wanted to.
Yeah, that's fucked. See, I'm sorry, but stuff like that is... You've got to see that as a...
That's a red flag.
Not right.
Yeah. He would also hit them. And also another MO that we see a lot of the times is violence towards animals. So there's only 2 things that I could find where that happened, but regardless, it happened anyway. He shot... Is there a ghost? I'm so paranoid about ghosts in this house. So one time he admitted to shooting a dog with a BB gun. Just to hurt it. A BB gun's not really gonna kill
It fucking hurts.
an animal, but it's gonna hurt them. Like that would be worse than paintballing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just gonna suck. I can't imagine doing
I'm
that.
sorry, but don't fucking hurt animals like that.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
There's one occasion where he killed a goldfish by putting it in Clorox bleach.
Oh, that's fucked.
Well, the reason it's fucked is kind of worse, I feel. He decided to do that because, and I quote, I wanted a gerbil. He killed a goldfish because he wanted a gerbil instead.
That's fucked.
Like, could he not just have a goldfish and a gerbil?
Yeah.
Was he not allowed that?
Someone's angry at mummy.
Yeah. That does come
Because
into it
to
a little
me,
bit as
that's
well.
I don't want this. Why did you get me this? No, fuck you, Mum. I'm going to kill it because you got me this instead of that.
Yeah, I hate you.
Piece of shit.
Well, funny story is his mum was aware of his tendencies and she was scared. So every night when he went to bed, she locked him in his room.
Okay, that's actually sad.
And she locked herself in hers.
Because maybe being a single mum as well and not having...
I think just seeing his outbursts and seeing the kind of stuff that he would do and...
Because what year was this around?
Well... He was born in 1971.
Okay.
And this would have been in the 80s at this particular point. So,
because I was just thinking like mental health and actually going to see someone, oh, my child's doing this, isn't as well known.
Well, he does go to a counsellor.
Oh, interesting.
So so she basically locked him in and did that kind of stuff. Apparently a neighbour, like later on, during an interview with, I think, a probation officer or something, it had come out that a neighbour said that at one time he locked her son in a dog kennel and was rolling it around.
The fuck?
And the kid was screaming and crying to get out and he wouldn't. He was just laughing while he was doing this to the kid. Again,
I would
he's just a
be
psycho.
taking it up to somewhere. The child.
No, it.
Be like, take it. I do not want it
Get
anymore.
rid of it.
This one's broken.
I've had enough.
That would be fucking hard though, as a mum.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You are that scared that you are literally locking your child and yourself in your own room.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah. But that's not all. He also stabbed a little girl with a pair of scissors on a bus to get back at her. I don't know what he was getting back at her for, but he stabbed her, I believe, in the thigh just with a pair of scissors.
What the
Because he felt
fuck?
like it. Yeah. It was messed up.
Fuck.
When he was around 8 or 9, he was referred to the Behavioral Evaluation Center at the Georgia Mental Health Institute due to the behavior issues that he had at school. And they believe that a big part of that was that his mother wasn't able to enforce there was no discipline in the house.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like she couldn't discipline him if he's that fucking psychotic.
And something comes up later, so I want us to put a pin in this particular part so we remember this later. But she's obviously scared. She's obviously aware that there are issues. He's locked in his room. He's done violent things. These sort of things have been addressed. Like like you're aware that your son is doing this kind of stuff at that particular point, right? So now in 1983, at the age of 12, he finally got to go live with his dad, and that was after he got out of the institute.
Yeah.
I think he's only there for like 3.5 months, but he really wanted to live with his dad in Arizona because his dad, he felt, was just going to be different.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy at home with his mum or his stepdad. He claims later on in life that he was being beaten by both of them. That's what he claimed.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. But that's what he claimed.
Not even the stepdad? Because, sometimes when it's a broken family, it can turn
I think
into...
there was discipline. I think there was discipline. And...
he could have turned it around as, he's abusing me because he's not my real dad. And,
you're not my real dad. You know what? Kids can be assholes.
Yeah.
Not all of them. But kids can be assholes. So he got to go live with his dad in Arizona. I know that I was thinking, cool, that means that maybe... there was going to be a positive role model for him. There was going to be someone who was attentive and disciplined. But it turns out his dad probably wasn't the best kind of role model for him. Because his dad liked to collect weapons and also taught Todd how to blow things up and to build bombs.
Fucking hell. I'm sorry, that's just like, I'm kind of like, in my head, I'm like, cool, his dad's gonna fucking beat his ass and, knock some sense. No, let's fucking blow shit up. Okay, cool.
Come on, son, let's go and fuck some shit up.
Oh, fucking Trent from Punchy.
It's a good old... that's the way that they decided they were going to bond.
Yeah.
For me, that just didn't make sense.
No.
I didn't quite understand that. His relationship ended up breaking down with his dad because it turns out his dad was a bit of an old slut and just started throwing it around town, dating multiple different women. So by
Get it, girl.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, get it. Like, if they're all aware of what's happening, it's all consensual and there's no hard feelings, like, fucking...
do you?
Live your best life. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, Todd cared. And
oh, little Toddy Todd.
and he wasn't happy about that. So he was like, fuck this. I should probably go and live back with my mom.
Yeah.
Like, this is just not working for me. I'm not getting the attention I need. I'm starting to feel abandoned. I want to go back and live with my mummy.
I just had a thing. I'm like, what if he didn't like women? So the multiple women, you know what I mean? With the dad.
No, he liked women.
Oh.
As you're about to find out. So,
can't wait.
like, literally next. So he decided that he wanted to go live back with his mum. He felt things were going to be a little bit better. His mum kept on postponing it and making excuses and reasons for why he wasn't able to come back at that time.
Same, I would too.
Same, right? But that's not the actions of a person who is not scared of their child or is not living in fear that something could happen.
Yeah.
So, again, put a pin in that, and we'll go back to it later when you find out another thing. In 1986, the year of my birth.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so old.
Hey.
November 25th.
Oh, kind of close.
Kind of close, right? Like I was a month, like not even a month old, a few weeks old. He decided that he would lure a 14-year-old girl out of her house with...
How old was he again?
He's 15.
15, okay.
So they're around the same age.
Yeah.
But he was almost 16.
Yeah.
He decided to lure a 14-year-old girl out of her house with the lie that her boyfriend wanted to talk. Her boyfriend was his friend.
Yeah.
So with the idea that, hey, my friend wants, your boyfriend wants to come out and talk, like, let's go and talk. She comes out of the house like, oh my God, yes, my boyfriend, I love him so much. I'm 14. I just want to be with him forever. Like, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Back before I hated men. Holla. And when she got outside, he pulled out his dad's handgun, which was a .22 caliber revolver.
So are we talking like on a street?
Yeah.
Out in the open?
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck.
Middle of the day?
Yeah.
Just pull a gun on it.
She was referred to as a neighbor, so it doesn't mean that it was like right next door.
Yeah.
But it just means that it was somewhere on his street, close to his house. Like, could have been across the road, could have been just a couple houses down. He then forces her to his house with his dad's handgun, takes her to his bedroom, he ties her up, he duct tapes her mouth shut, and then he proceeds to rape her.
Fuck off. At 15?
At 15. I don't know about you. I can't imagine ever wanting to do that at like 15. At 34, I can't even imagine wanting to do that to somebody. Like, I know there are some people out there, and I don't kink shame, they have the, like, rape fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
And I get that, but it's a consensual thing. What he did was he literally took something from her because he just wanted to do it. And it was just fucked up. The next part for me is more fucked up.
Yeah.
He then walked her home.
After he's raped her?
He raped her.
Yeah.
And then he walked her home.
Yeah, that's fucked.
That's twisted. That's something that I can't actually wrap my head around.
Yeah.
Because I'm like...
So none of it happened kind of thing. It's just like, oh, cool, let me walk you home.
It's like, this happened. Like, I don't get it. What I was thinking is maybe he walked her home so that she wouldn't make like a little detour
and
to
so
the,
he knew
to the
she
pig
was
pen
going home. Yeah.
And see the little oinky oinks and then report him.
Yeah.
What he did, though, was he said, if you tell anyone, I will come back and I will kill your little brother and I will kill your little sister.
That's fucked.
Well, see, she either didn't give a fuck about her siblings or she was not cool. She was like, I'm calling you a bluff, bitch.
Oh, fuck you.
She reported him.
Good.
He got the fuck reported.
Good.
At the time, he was convicted. This was 1987 now, because it was near the end of the year. It was just a bit of a crossover.
Yeah.
He was charged with kidnapping, sexual assault, and committing dangerous crime against children.
Good.
You say good.
Oh.
He pled guilty to kidnapping only, and the rest of the charges were dropped. However, they still put him on the sex offender registry. So he's a registered sex offender.
But how the fuck did that work? If he only got done for kidnapping,
I think it was like a plea deal.
That's
and
fucked.
it could have been through his legal team. Like, I don't know. I couldn't...
Is he still classed as a... Classed? Is he still classed as a minor?
He's classed as a minor, however, they decided they would charge him as an adult.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm kind of like, good, but also what the fuck?
It's weird.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the judicial system in general.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I would like to understand about it,
100%.
but hearing about all of these things, the legal system is really letting people down.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Like,
It's like old mate Malat. Kidnapping,
Yeah.
raping, charges dropped.
YOLO, just get back out there, boy.
Yeah. To me, wouldn't rape be more time than kidnap? Like, that's fucked.
Don't know. I actually don't know. Hi, Mung Beans. Do you live in Arizona? You bored and got kidnapping on your mind? If the alleged victim is under the age of 15, then the first offence range of punishment is a 10-year minimum stint in prison, up to 24 years. But if that doesn't tickle your pickle like rape does, then just know that in the state of Arizona, rape is a felony. Sexual assault is a Class 2 felony and is punishable by a minimum of 5.25 years in prison, leading up to life. So if there's anything you learned from today's podcast, please let it be to get better idols, make better choices, and leave people alone. If it's not yours, don't touch it. Okay, back to you. He ended up getting sentenced to 15 years, which I think is great.
Yeah.
And he served all 15 years.
Oh, okay.
So
I was like, did he get out?
He didn't get let out early.
Okay.
So he was in there. He was released
good.
by the age of 30.
Good. Fuck you.
As an adult at that point. Judge Rose Kimball, who presided over the case, said, and I quote, the judge was on this shit. They were like, I see you, boo.
Yeah.
But not like in like a cute way.
Yeah.
It's like, I see you.
Fucking see you.
Here is a quote. I'll read you two quotes that he made. So the first quote was, at less than the age of 9, this juvenile was impulsive, explosive, and preoccupied with sexual content. He has not changed. He has been unabattedly aggressive to others and destructive of property since nursery school. So he's obviously been able to see the notes from the counselor that he was
so
talking
he's
to
fucking on it,
between
like,
8 or 9. They've got the information down pat, so they've got the shit.
Yeah.
So he was obviously worried that it's not gonna. He's just a shit person.
Yeah.
25 months of the most intensive and expensive professional intervention, short of God's will provide no protection for the public and no rehabilitation of this juvenile by any services or facilities presently available to the juvenile court. So he was basically saying, this guy can't be rehabilitated. If he's done what he's done, he'll do it again.
Which is scary, because if he's going to get let out.
Right?
Like, how do you get let out when you're saying you cannot be rehabilitated?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's fucked. But also at that particular time, I guess just due to the legal system, the maximum charge they could only give him would have been that 15 years. Like, unless something else came up, there's nothing that he could really do. So in 1987, a psychiatric exam by Dr. Roger Martig, he went on to say that Todd wasn't psychotic.
Okay.
Which means that he wasn't doing what he was doing out of the fact that he couldn't control it. Like, he knew what he was doing. So he said he wasn't psychotic, that he had a severe underlying emotional issue, which could result in an emotional deterioration or continued aggressive behavior towards others in the future. So this doctor was like, he will do it again.
The fuck?
Like, it's going to happen again. But again, based on the limitations that they have in the legal system, you're charged for this crime, the maximum, you can't get life.
How can they not have something in place for that?
Do you know what I think? And some people can disagree with that because obviously everyone believes in second chances and all that kind of stuff. If you rape someone and it's beyond the shadow of a doubt and you're convicted of it, get castrated. Castrate the fucker. Give him a nub. All he has is a nub now. You have a little love mound. That's what you're getting.
Little love mound.
Little love mound. Like sans the love.
Yeah.
You don't deserve shit.
No.
You little bitch. He demonstrates episodes of ignoring or distorting reality and regular use of projection defense mechanisms. I don't know if I get into later. I don't think I necessarily included that, but he literally has an issue with... He wants to be glorified. So everything he does, he wants you to praise him and be like, you did a good job. That's what he wants. So the second he doesn't get that praise, and he's like, if like you didn't do that right, or you fucked up, or whatever, or someone just disagrees with him, then he gets explosive. And that's what they're meaning by those mechanisms. Dr. Martig added that Todd had excessively strange impulses and feelings, and that he had a limited capacity to tolerate unpleasant effects, which again just means anyone pushing back or anyone saying no or anything that he didn't like. So if he wasn't getting praised, then he wasn't going to be happy about it.
Good job on raping someone and breaking all those toys.
Good job. Good job.
Fuckhead.
Well, see, the thing is, there was an interview that was done between his parole, or one of his parole officers, where they actually ask him about the rape. And I have found conflicting stories. Apparently both are correct, so he has just changed what he said just for the sake of it. So one thing that was said, which was on the most recent info that I looked at, was that he did this as a big fuck you to his dad for not being in town and not being around him. So this little girl was just collateral damage because he just wanted to be like, fuck you, dad. Which I don't buy. I don't buy that for a second, because his dad wouldn't have found out if he wasn't arrested for it. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, right?
Yeah, to me, you don't rape a female because you're mad at your dad. That's like a mum thing.
That's right. What you do is you rape your dad. I'm kidding.
Or like,
Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
No, that's disgusting.
But you'd think it'd be towards men and maybe hurting men, like not, actual rape. But
if you're looking at like daddy issues and that kind of stuff, you take the aggression out somewhere else.
Yeah.
And like, sure, that could be he was being aggressive to another person because it was his version of letting some steam out. Yeah. But there are other ways to do that. You don't need to do it in that particular way.
Don't need to hurt someone.
Yeah. But apparently what he had said to the parole officer that did the actual interview with him and asked them why he raped her. Yeah. He said that it was because he was upset that she had a crush or crushes on his friends. But not on him. And that she told him she just wanted to be friends.
Oh, boo-hoo, motherfucker.
That's what I said.
But what do you think you're going to achieve? I'm going to rape them and then oh my
what?
God, I love you now.
Right, Stockholm Syndrome kicks in, like, I'll be with you forever. Let's get married now.
Oh my God, that's the best dick I've ever had.
Yeah, and honestly, if you saw this guy in the older days, which I'll show you, like near the end, he was like around 300 pounds. Like, this guy got so fat and so gross. Not that I'm body shaming no one, but this guy's disgusting.
Yeah. We're allowed to shame criminals. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If you've done some really fucked up shit, you've done that kind of stuff, you fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I hate you, fuck you.
We can't go into everything.
We can't, but fuck you, you're a fucking scumbag.
You do shit like this, fuck you, we're going to shame you.
Fuck you, get fucked, right? So according to a psych evaluation, he described his own attitude, toward himself quite negatively. He...
Interesting, I thought he would...
Love himself?
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing. This guy wanted to be praised so much that I think he was doing like a reverse psychology thing. Like, I'm ugly. I'm fat. No one likes me. I'm such a loser. Yeah, you are a loser. Yeah. And I think that's what he was doing. So apparently he repeatedly asked himself, why do I do things like this? And he saw himself as a bad person. He said that he felt bad because he feels that he can hurt people, which is what he did, right? Yet his attorney, who was defending him, said, I don't think he's ever going to hurt another person. This kid's fine. He just did a bad thing, but he's fine. That's
not a bad thing. That's a fucked up thing. It's like, oh, I didn't just knock and spill something on the floor. That's a bad thing.
It's so messed up. So you remember me talking about his mum, right?
Yeah.
So on August 6, 1987, his mum decided that they would write a letter to the probation officer.
I'm going to write a letter.
I'm going to have a BF. So she wrote a letter. Remember, this kid's locked up. Yeah. In the house, outside the house. She's scared. She don't want to be around him. Don't blame her. Yeah. I just sounded so Australian then.
Don't blame her.
Don't blame her. Good Sheila she is.
Oh, yeah.
But here's a letter that she wrote. And this is like legit. She actually wrote this letter. I'm only reading a part of it because there are other parts in there that I didn't want to include, and I'll elaborate a little bit on that after.
Yeah.
I realize that he has done wrong, and my heart aches for the little girl, but it also aches for my son. He was only 15 years old.
What?
He didn't have any record of any kind and has never been in trouble before. Todd knows he did wrong, and he's sorry, but they won't even give him a chance to make a good life out of this. Everyone deserves a second chance.
What?
He wouldn't be rehabilitated in prison. He would be ruined. This from a bitch who was locking him in his room. This from a bitch who said that he destroyed furniture because he didn't like it. This from a bitch who I'm pretty sure could co-sign the fact that he bleached a goldfish because he wanted a gerbil.
Yeah. Everyone deserves a second chance?
Everyone deserves a chance.
Why are you locking your doors? Why are you locking him in? Fuck off. Are you kidding me?
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
And hide your Todd.
Well, I was going to say hide your goldfish because you're bleaching everybody out there, but... Who knows? I just don't understand it. Apparently his mum felt that 15 years was just a skosh too harsh.
Fuck off. Are you kidding?
Yeah. See, the problem...
And as a woman and a mother...
It gets worse because in the parts that I'm not including, because of the fact that I think that she's a fucking scumbag too, to a degree, was that she went on to talk about how he walked her home. He walked her home to make sure that she would get home safe because that's the good kind of kid that he is.
Fuck off. So if that was her child that got raped... Would she still feel the same?
No.
Everyone deserves a second chance.
Everyone deserves a second chance.
Fuck
Everyone.
off.
He needs the chance to be able to make good out of this.
That poor girl is probably never going to want to have sex again. Like, you would get triggered every time you had sex.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Or it's going to do the opposite thing and it's going to turn you into, someone who
has
craves
no respect for their body or... Yeah.
Or not even necessarily that, but it can change someone psychological so they become hypersexualized. So that sort of stuff can happen as well. She said that he has never been known to inflict violence on another person.
Fuck off.
Even though the psych evaluation that he had when he by his counselor when he was like 8 or 9 was like, he's violent.
You fucking locked someone in a thing and is rolling him around. Fuck off.
Because it's funny, apparently.
I don't like this. This is making me angry.
Yeah. Oh, you should have seen me. I was like, fuck you. You fucking cunt.
Typing really hard.
I was slamming the keys because I was like, fuck. She pleaded with the court officials to find alternative treatments for him. While he was in prison for his 15-year stint, apparently only in the early days, or maybe the first couple years, he had a couple of violations for violent action, which is funny because apparently he wasn't violent according to his mom. Like, he's not known to do that kind of stuff. But after he turned 20, so he had been there 5 years at that point, there were no other records of disobedience at all. So what they're claiming is that he learned how to change his behavior to basically get what he wanted, get what he needed, which is something that he actually uses later with every single person that he interacts with. I said this to you like off mic, that I don't really want to glorify this fuck, but I feel like we kind of need to talk a little bit about it because it's not an unintelligent person. It's a person with a high IQ. When he was in prison, he graduated from the Central Arizona College with a bachelor's degree in computer science. After he left, I believe he went and did a diploma in something else. I just can't remember what it is. But he did that once he left. In 2002, he worked as a graphic designer at Seven Sons and Company until about 2003. In 2006, there's things that happen in between, but I have to go back to those after, just because of the timeline. In 2006, he received a private pilot's license. So even though he's a registered sex offender, right, he was still able to apply and get a pilot's license, which basically lets him fly anywhere. At the same time, he also took the South Carolina real estate exam. On the exam, You're not supposed to have any federal convictions at all.
Yeah.
And he was a registered sex offender, right?
Yeah.
And Google wasn't really so big at that particular time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we had Google in 2006, but it was like...
Yeah, no.
You didn't have access to the same sort of information you do now.
Yeah.
So he made up a cock and bull story about how he became registered as a sex offender. And it was... I barely remembered it because it just made me so mad. But it was something about him going and seeing his girlfriend at the time, and his dad got angry, and there was a misunderstanding. Like, his dad was the one who apparently... her dad was the one who apparently filed or claimed whatever. And the reason that it was done for kidnapping was that at one point during that conversation, he said to her, "You need to stay here with me," which he apparently said to her to keep her safe. They believed this story. He ends up getting his license 3 weeks later.
He's just fucking doing everything.
He's doing the most.
Yeah. Could you not have applied yourself like this?
That's what I said, and that's why it's so disappointing when you get to see these people who are so smart, who are misusing.
Yeah. Like, pilot's license isn't easy to get.
No.
I'm sure real estate shit wouldn't be easy to get.
If you have to get an actual license to be a real estate agent...
And a bachelor and, like,
no, at all.
fuck.
But what's... I don't know if you call it what's worse, but the other frustrating thing is that he ended up becoming one of the top sellers and opening his own real estate firm.
Oh, wow.
Because he was doing so well.
Yeah.
He ended up getting... I think 12 different real estate agents that worked under him in his company. Oh, wow. So it was like a well-to-do company.
And you get a bit of money from that shit as well.
You get tons of money. So much money. By 2014, he bought an almost, I think it was around 96-acre property, so like a big buck-off property.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough. And that was over like 300-something thousand. For them at that time, that's a lot of money, especially in that area. He pays an extra $80-something thousand to have a fence built around the entire property, around the entire 96-odd acre land, right? And I guess you'll have some people that are very... I don't know if you'd say greedy, but they're very like, I own this. This is my property.
Yeah.
Very
I pay
possessive.
For this. Yeah.
Like this is my shit.
Yeah.
So, August 31st, 2016.
Oh.
So it's been a couple of years. Like, you don't really hear a lot in between these things.
What he's doing.
So Kayla Brown, who was 30, and her boyfriend Charles David Carver, or he went by the name Charlie, he was 32. Yeah. They went to go and clean one of his properties, I think. Yeah. She knew someone that worked for him in the past, or it was kind of like a little bit muddy, but in the end, I believe she was paid to clean a lot of the properties that he had. So for the listings for his company and then also his private properties, I think he had more than one property. So he was making bank, and I saw the house in one of the videos that I saw later. It was kind of a nice house. It was like a lot of property, but a lot of it was like woodland. So they went to go and clean his property. There was one that was within 8 miles. I don't know what that equates to for us because we don't really use miles. We're more like a kilometer kind of person. Can you type the numbers in, Del? It was like Eminem 8 Mile. Do you know what I mean?
12 kilometers.
12K.
12.8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say a 15-ish minute drive, right?
Yeah.
So close enough to where he actually resided.
Yeah.
So she was advised that her boyfriend, Charlie, could go with her.
Well, that's good.
To go and clean the property, because I believe he wanted them to clean all the brush. We don't really use that word in Australia.
The what?
The sticks and leaves and grass. Sticks, leaves, grass. So they met him at the property. They were instructed to meet him there. And they were told to wait outside while he went inside to grab some stuff. A short time passed, and he walked back outside. But he was no longer looking like the friendly kind of guy that he was beforehand. They noticed that he had a gun in his hand.
The fuck?
And without saying a word, and with no time for them to react, he unloaded 3 bullets into Charlie's chest and killed him.
Fuck.
In front of her. He then grabbed her and he handcuffed her. So he had cuffs.
Yeah.
So obviously this is premeditated. He then takes her a little bit further down from his property to a bit that's a little bit more secluded.
Yeah.
And decides to chain her up, I believe, by her ankles, wrists, and neck to a shipping container. So inside the shipping container with no lights, barely any ventilation, like it's pitch black in there, right?
It's dirty.
It's dirty, it's dingy, it's got to be gross. So he locks her up in that area. All she has is, I believe he gave her books to read, crime novels. Right?
Yeah.
And her bed was a dog bed, which is one of his dog's old beds that they just didn't use anymore, I think. So that's where she got to sit. But I don't know how comfortable she could get because she had like a chain on her neck bolted to a wall. So I don't know.
That's fucked.
It's so fucked up, right? So it doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, they both went radio silent, so both Kayla and Charles. And after a few days, loved ones started getting a little bit concerned because apparently that wasn't like them. One of Kayla's friends knew that something was wrong, so she went to the house where they lived. She looked around, she couldn't see anything that looked weird. She even left notes on, I think, Kayla's car, because they drove Charles' car to the property. Just things, it doesn't say what was in those notes, but it would have been something along the lines of like, hey, where are you? We miss you.
Like call
Can
us
you
back?
contact
What's
us?
happening?
Send me a text, like do something, we miss you. So she knew something was wrong when there was no response that happened at all during that time. After contact fell out, obviously, between Charles and his mom, that sweet baby angel of a mom, like they would apparently talk every day. So when conversation stopped and she wasn't getting messages from him anymore, he wasn't answering his phone, nothing was happening, that's when she decided to report him as a missing person to the police.
That's really sad.
So sad. Anything that involves family, like
I know,
literally,
especially the mom.
I know, my heart just,
Because it goes straight to like my parents. I'm like,
Same.
how would they feel?
Oh, same.
And knowing they're in pain makes me sad.
It hurts. I don't want to talk about it. I'll cry. I'm not a little bitch. You're a little bitch.
I'm not crying.
I'm
You're
gonna
crying.
fucking cry. You're crying, asshole. So yeah, she reported them to the popo, and they ended up going and doing, I don't know if it was like a welfare check, but they went to the house to see what they could find, and they didn't find anything crazy because obviously these people had left the house on their own accord. They did, however, find the couple's dog who had been locked inside with no food or water. So little Poochie was just left alone. They knew that like the friends and loved ones knew that that wasn't the normal behavior of Kayla or Charles or Charlie. Like apparently they loved that dog, so they weren't.
That makes me so sad. He'd
I
be
know.
like, when are they coming
It's
home?
like, where's my mom and dad? And I'm hungry. Like, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I don't think that this dickhead Todd would have known about it, to be honest. But I guess you can never be too sure. Strangely enough, Charlie starts posting on his Facebook account. But in the first post, I believe, he said that they were expecting a child, they'd bought a house, and that they had moved. So that was, I think, him being like, don't come look for us, we've intentionally left.
All right, Mr. Todd.
Well, no, all right, Mr. Charlie, because people didn't know yet. So he also started posting other things that were uncharacteristically kind of mean for what Charlie would normally post. One person... on one of the posts, a person wrote, "Where's Kayla?" Because you're hearing from Charlie, but Kayla was staying radio silent, so you didn't hear anything from that. He replied to that friend. He said, "Who the fuck are you to question me about my girlfriend?" ? And the person replied something like, the police are looking for you, asshole. Like,
yeah, like stop being a dick.
Yeah. Well, because again, they didn't. It depends on what post you look at. Some of the people were like, "This is not Charlie. This is not Kayla. Who the fuck are you? You're being reported." What's more disturbing is that Charlie, using quotation marks here, started posting missing person adverts about Charlie and Kayla that were set up by their family and loved ones. He also sent links to the fundraiser. There was a fundraiser that was put out to raise money. One of Kayla's friends, I believed, ended up getting a kind of cryptic, kind of weird direct message from Charlie. And it said, "I'm just missing to everyone else, but we are both okay. There is only one person that knows where we are, the person that means the most to me and Kayla. She knows where we are, and we are coming that way forever."
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the friend was like, "That's creepy, and I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
the
know."
fuck are you going on about?
Yeah, I don't get that. What are you even trying to say? Spoiler alert, Kayla lived.
Oh, yay. But also
So,
that's sad.
Yeah, well,
Going through everything and losing
I
a partner.
watched, girl, I'll talk about it like a little bit further on. I watched the video for when they found her.
I'm going to have to look at that after this.
Yeah, watch it. Yeah, for sure. You will see a calmness in this woman that
yeah.
I don't understand. I don't possess it. So she claimed that Todd grabbed her, cuffed her, and locked her in the metal shipping container chained by her neck, ankle, and hands. She would spend all day locked up in that shipping container, apart from between the hours of 1 to 3 p.m. and 5 to 7 p.m. every day like clockwork, where he would grab her, take her to his garage, chain her up in there, and force her to perform sexual acts on him. He went on to say in some interviews, and these interviews, you need to watch that. It was so uncomfortable to watch, but his claim is that they knew each other before this whole thing happened, that she was the one who wanted to do this, and that she even said, "You need to give me permission to talk to you. I want to stay curled up in the corner, and I'm only here for when you need me. I'm like your
trying
little
to use
kitten."
a kink as a this is our thing.
For sure. And then he keeps trying to turn it around, but like, "Oh, that's too fucking kinky for me. That's not what I do. I'm not into that kind of shit."
Dickhead.
Right? So it's like absolutely messed up. So he would feed her. So she was being fed.
That's good.
He would let her use the bathroom once a day, which would be around the time that they were doing that.
Yeah.
And he would give her a small bottle of water that she would use to clean herself in that bathroom. It's so messed up. He didn't stop posting on Charlie's account, by the way. He started posting super cryptic, super weird, super random, not related to anything posts. He was talking about things to do with sword violence. He was talking about just crazy stuff that wasn't what Charlie was into or would talk about. So it led more to it. If you actually saw the comments that people were putting down, they're like, "Where the fuck is Charlie? Where the fuck is Kayla? What are you doing? What is happening? Where are they?"
I'm so looking at all these photos later.
You
I
have
love
to.
like putting a face to
Oh yeah.
even the victims. I know that sounds really bad, but I like to see and
Yeah, it's so sad. So yeah, he would do that, and he was talking about. There was one thing that he posted, I think. Oh no! Sorry, wrong. He was doing that other stuff on Sean's account, but this time he started posting on his own account.
yeah.
And he said that in one particular post that he put up, he was talking about what it would mean if he went missing, and if he went missing, it wasn't because someone had kidnapped him. He went missing because he went off into the bush somewhere doing a thing and then probably broke his ankle, and it was just so weird. But then on top of that, he started commenting on that original post, talking about how he would get beatings when he was young if he stood out of line, and all you do is learn how to not misbehave, and it was just so weird that he started doing that kind of stuff. And then also we talk about how he just didn't act up, which to me was a far cry from what is reported was actually happening at that particular time anyway, because it was so, for him, it was apparently so tumultuous. in that relationship, in that family home. On November 3rd, 2016, he also posted, and this is how much he loves people. We need Ebola to come as a huge snowstorm, wipe out half the population, and then melt away. Just tired of entitlement, rude-ass people for no reason, people who race to cut in front of you, to slam on the brakes just to make right turns. And that motherfucker that stands in the aisle at the grocery store, and dude, you know who you are, that blocks the aisle, checking out microbrews and blocking everyone in their way, to their Michelob. I don't know what that actually means. He's like, ... bitch move. It doesn't make any sense.
At first I was like, is he talking about himself? But then I'm also like, okay, I can relate because I hate people.
Oh, but no, when I was writing that, I did laugh a little bit. I was like, you're not wrong. These people are fucking annoying.
But also, it sounds like he's talking about himself.
Yes.
Because he's a piece of shit.
Oh, no, 100%. But he did not see himself as...
They never do, right?
Wrong at all. They don't. They're super narcissistic. Investigators eventually gained access to Kayla's Facebook account and started reviewing everything that they could, including messages that had been sent. They found messages between herself and Charles talking about the job on the property at Todd's. Right?
I was like, now, someone's got to know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So they traced the phones.
Which is interesting because it's like... Sorry to cut you off, but...
Fine.
It's like they're missing, but he's active on social media, and yet the police still go... You know what I mean? Like, if you're like, oh no, he could have just ran away and packed up his life like they all do and just fucked off. But even though he's still active online, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, but I think obviously no evidence, no crime, right? So they're just going off here saying if this person's actively posting on their stuff, they're like...
Yeah.
We can't necessarily say anything either way. They traced the phones and found the last cell towers that they pinged at.
Yeah.
So that gives you a GPS location of where these people are.
Yeah.
And it was near/on Todd's property. And they hadn't moved from Todd's property since August 31st.
Interesting.
Right?
Fucking dumb shit.
Color me surprised.
Yeah.
But they just hadn't. For someone so smart,
yes,
he was so dumb. I just figured that he probably just didn't think that that would happen.
They can't trace my phone.
Yeah.
Like his phone, I mean, old mate's phone.
Charlie's phone, yeah. So, when they looked up property owners in that area, they saw Todd Kohlhepp, who was a registered sex offender. Mm-hmm. So they were like, we need to go and look at that person because they're saying that they're going up there to meet them. We now have his name because of those messages.
Yeah.
On top of that, we can see who owns the deed to that house. On top of that, these phones have not left that property since then.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right? Red flags. So, at 8 a.m. on November 3rd, they went to Todd's house and questioned him while a separate team who had a subpoena basically investigated the property. Because there's 93 acres of property. That's fucking big. I couldn't cope with 1 acre of property. 93, too much. But again, like most of it's woodland. I think there were a couple of roads and some maybe small cleared out areas, especially ones that had like buildings and stuff on it.
Yeah.
So I think part of it was a distraction technique so that they could know where he was. They kept him in one area.
Yeah.
They said, hey, look, we need access to your mobile phone for blah, 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 whatever reasons. He's like, no problem, come inside. You can have it, it's fine. While that happens, they clip back over to the other place where they come across the garage. They go inside the garage and they find like chains everywhere. So they knew something was going down. It was a makeshift living area. It had like a double or a queen size bed in one of the corners. It had a bathroom.
Fucking dungeon kind of thing.
Yeah. It had like a bathroom. In the bathroom, they found hair clippings, which didn't belong to him. His hair was short and it was like a sandy brown color. This was like a reddy brown color. So they were like, okay, we know that's not his hair. It's not his girlfriend's hair because he also had a girlfriend at the time.
Fuck.
And on top of that, he was having an affair with a younger lady called Holly that he had been having an affair for a long time as well. So it was messed up. His girlfriend didn't know about any of this.
That's what I find interesting though. Like, he can go and do that to a woman, but then still love someone to an extent and kind of separate that life of, I'm not going to hurt this lady, I'm going to date her?
I think he was able to, like, compartmentalize those parts of his life where he couldn't live a normal life on this side.
I always wonder were there little bits here and there where, like, when he was having sex with his girlfriend, did he try to tie her up, or you know what I mean, like those little. He
said, you can talk to my girlfriend, you can ask her. She's like, I'm not into any of that kinky shit.
Interesting.
So apparently he kept it pretty missionary style with her, according to him.
Yeah, which you think surely would come out.
Well, if you have an outlet where you're getting it from somewhere else.
That's true.
Like,
but
maybe
your brain would be like, oh, we remember this.
There would be a slip up.
Yeah.
There would have to be a slip up. And then you'd be like, wait a minute. It makes sense.
Fucking piece of shit.
So they said that they knew that the phones had pinged on the property.
Yeah.
And they said they're here for the phones. He slipped up at that point and said, you're here to find the girl. And they're like, they corrected him. And they're like, no, we're here to find Charlie and Kayla. There are two people that are missing. He's like, oh, okay. It's like,
jokes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was just testing.
Testing you.
Just testing you. That's all I was doing. So yeah, he corrected Todd and he was like, we're actually here for both people. And it's like, okay. The other team ended up finding, so they found the garage and that kind of stuff. They then traveled a little bit further down and found another green building and then a green Connex shipping container, like a metal shipping container.
Yeah.
On the shipping container, and remember this, they found 5 like heavy duty locks. Why do you need 5 heavy duty locks on a fucking shipping container?
Yeah.
You've seen a shipping container. Your dad does trucks. You've seen shipping containers, right? Why do you need 5 of them?
You don't need that many.
They couldn't get in there, so they ended up getting like a saw, like an electric saw.
Yeah.
And even then, they still had to like prise the doors open with like a metal
I was
bar.
going to say, if these fuckers just walk away and be like, oh, I can't get into that.
Yep, sorry.
I was going to lose my shit.
Well, that was never going to happen because when they're near it, she could hear them outside. So she started screaming for them and banging against the wall.
Yeah.
Because this might be your only chance.
Yeah.
And you just give it your all.
Yeah.
Right? So they heard and they're like, we're going to get her out. So they go in and the footage is kind of blurry. It's not great, but they go in, they look at some junk around. I think he has some empty like ammo racks, like gun racks and stuff to either side. They find these books lying on the ground. They see her at the very end sitting up against the wall on the dog bed.
Yeah.
They also took photos, I believe, before cutting her out.
Yeah.
Just so they could use it as evidence. Like, this is a chain around her ankle.
How fucked is that, hey? Like, you just sit there.
Just pose.
Okay, can you just fucking let me out now?
They were really sweet, though.
Yeah.
Like, you could hear them being like, it's okay, sweetheart. We've got you. Don't you worry. It's all right.
We've got to do this, yeah.
We're going to get you out of here. You're safe now. You're safe now. You're safe now.
Yeah.
She was so, like I said earlier, calm. So calm. If that were me, I would have just cried and cried and cried.
Yeah, but you hear about how some people just kind of...
They shut down.
They shut it out.
They disassociate.
And just let it happen and go along with it because it just fucks you up otherwise.
Well, sometimes it's easier, I guess, to disassociate.
Just kind of like step away mentally and you're just
going
in a summer place.
I'm going into my zone, my little area.
So how long was it for? Sorry, that she was... trapped there for?
So they found her on November 3rd.
Yeah.
And she had gone missing August 31st.
Okay, so a couple of months, but not like a, like, I say that casually, just a couple of months, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It was just more of a like, how long did it take them to actually find her? Yeah.
Yeah. And you're probably going to be sitting there at that time being like, I'm just going to die. Like, I'll die.
Surely you'd lose track of the days as well.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. She was like, it just seemed like forever. It was just everything.
Yeah.
There was I couldn't do anything. They said that she appeared despondent. You'd be in so much shock. You'd be like, I can't believe that this happened to me. And then remember, like, her boyfriend, someone she loved, died.
Yeah.
Like, You literally, that would be the last time you saw them.
That's fucked.
They were shot. They asked where her friend was, so they referred to him as her friend.
Yeah.
And she was like, Charlie. And you heard like a little quiver in her voice as well, which was kind of sad. And she said, he shot him. And then they said, sorry, what, who shot who? And then she said, Todd Kohlhepp shot Charlie Carver 3 times in the chest, wrapped him in a blue tarp, put him in the bucket of the tractor, locked me down here. I haven't seen him again.
Fuck.
She then continued to say, he said he's dead and he's buried. He said there's several bodies dead and buried out here. And he says that the dogs will be ruined if they go looking because of red peppers. So apparently because red pepper is not good for dogs, especially their nose.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Well, he's saying he did this.
Yeah.
And I think it's again, hoping that maybe they'll call his bluff and they're not going to get cadaver dogs to go and do the look, maybe.
I'm also like, that's their job. Leave them alone.
I know. They're working dogs. Leave them alone.
That's their job.
It's so gross. So they reported this back, I believe, over radio to the people that were at the house.
Yeah.
By this time, Todd's sitting down and he's got his hands behind his back, so he's cuffed. And then they end up confronting him, saying that we have Kayla. And he's like, excuse me.
Who the fuck's Kayla?
It's like,
Piece of
bitch,
shit.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Excuse me. You'll see it in the video. Excuse me? You fucking potato cunt. He made me so mad.
I can't wait to see.
He made me so angry. They repeated what they said. And then they also added that she had said, you shot Charlie. And then he just replies with, okay.
Fucking piece of shit.
It's so annoying when you watch it. And then they
like,
keep on...
no remorse. It's just like, yeah.
Oh, zero. Well, no, because he ends up saying, when they ask him, because at that point, they are making a statement that someone else said. They haven't asked him a question.
Yeah.
So he's just saying okay to the fact that this is a statement that's been made. He's like, okay, just like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then they repeat a few things about what happened. He's like, okay. And then they ask him repeatedly, did you shoot Charlie Carver? And he's like, no, sir. That's when he says, like, no, I didn't do it. Again, they repeated the question, did you shoot Charlie Carver? And he said, no, sir, I did not. They asked him if he shot anybody. And they asked him why he locked Kayla in the container. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's on his property. It's on his property.
And it's completely locked. Oh, someone came and
in his container.
And put her in my container and just like locked it up, and I've just never gone in there.
And
Fuck
in
off.
his little sex dungeon.
Yeah, fuck off.
The same chains are there.
Fucking piece of shit.
It literally just made me so mad. Like, it made me so mad.
If you're gonna do shit like that, fucking own up to it, you piece of shit.
You piece of shit little bitch.
Yeah.
By that point, again, they're following the same lines of questioning. They've got him. They know they've got him.
Yeah.
And that's when he's like, I think I need an attorney. So they can't question him after that point. He's asked for an attorney. Anything is not admissible. So they are like, put him in the car.
Yeah.
So they end up putting him in the car. They later found Charlie's car. Mm-hmm. I think they said it was a Pontiac. I don't know. It was a white car, but by the time they found it, and there's also crime scene photos of that, he had spray painted it brown and covered it in sticks and leaves so that it blended in to kind of the surroundings. I guess so that if someone were to go over top with like a helicopter,
if they were searching
for a white Pontiac, you're not going to see that car.
Kind of smart, but also you're a fucking idiot.
A little bit. After he was locked up, and they did, I don't know if this was before the interrogation video that they did where they just wanted to get the questions out.
Yeah.
I believe he said, I will confess to everything. I will tell you everything, but only on 2 conditions. One, you let me talk to my mom, because I want to take care of her. It makes it hard because what he wants to do is a nice thing. Yeah. And it just makes me mad because I'm like, I don't want to think like that. So what he had done is he wanted to put money in his ex-girlfriend's child's account for future stuff.
Yeah.
So that he could take care of them. That's what he wanted to do.
So it wasn't his child, it was
It's not his child, it was his girlfriend's child.
Yeah.
So he's not the dad, but he wanted to do right by him, which I really don't understand. After that, and after confessing, he was allowed out, but not free, because he led them to a location where they found the bodies of Johnny Coxie and his wife, Megan McCraw-Coxie. I wrote Moxie. Wrong. On his property, and they went missing in December of 2015. She was found shot in the back of the head, and Johnny had sustained damage to his torso. So he claimed that he had encountered these people and they looked like they needed money, so he offered them work. That's what he's claiming. And he spins this entire story about how he was just doing this out of the goodness of his heart. He could see that these people really needed some work and they really needed some money, and he wanted to help. Yeah. He's a hero after all. Not all heroes wear capes. He wants to be able to help these people, you know? So he, again, same MO, takes them out to this property where he claims that Johnny decided to pull out a knife. According to him, they saw that I was rich and I had all this money and that I was driving a car that they would never be able to afford for themselves. So they were just going to rob me. Yeah. So I shot him twice in the chest, and then I walked around him and shot him once in the spine.
And then you didn't report it, if it's self-defense. Fuck off.
This guy does my head in, like I'm not even kidding.
This makes me mad.
So mad. The investigator isn't driving nuts as well. You're going to be like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
The investigator is, I don't know if it was a technique to become closer to this guy, but he ends up being like, what do you want to eat? He's like, well, I don't know. I don't want to be that kind of asshole. He's like, well, what do you want to eat? Like, there's food all around the place. You tell us, we'll just go get it. Yeah. And then they come back and they're sitting across the table eating with each other, joking and laughing about stuff. Like, I felt so uncomfortable watching that. Yeah. Especially when Todd's like, you should have seen the knife he had. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, it had fucking tiger stripes on the handle. And then the investigator laughed. He's like, what, the kind of one that you get from a gas station? And he's like, yeah. And they both laughed about it.
The fuck?
And he was like, what, was that before you shot him? And he's like, yeah. And then they laugh again. And I'm like, what? I hope to God that is from training that they had received to make the person feel comfortable so that they could share more information.
Like get them to talk.
To get more info, right? So when you watch that, you're probably going to feel the same way that I did. Like, I felt so uncomfortable. Yeah. It was just disgusting. He goes into some brief details about what happened with me, like Megan at the time. Apparently, she said that she had bipolar disorder and she was like a little bit crazy, but apparently they also were strung out. And there's a story about when she was pregnant, they found that her baby had a dose of heroin. I don't know if that was from, like, she was doing it before she went into labor and then the baby just naturally had heroin in the system because of that, or whether or not they're claiming that she had injected the baby with heroin. These are just stories. I don't know. What he ends up doing is locking her up in that Connex container that he had back in 2015. But he doesn't do that straight away because apparently he still had weapons in there. It's like, that's not going to be a very good idea. Yeah. He's claiming that what he had offered her was a ride to Tennessee, that he would drive her to Tennessee and give her $4,000 to go her own way and to not talk about it and just to leave. This is what he's claiming. Apparently she was really thankful. According to him, she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you so much. And he said that she was so happy over the next 2 days that she was like jovial and laughing and she was so happy and everything was all good and she couldn't, like, she was in such a good place and blah, blah, blah.
But her partner died.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he was kind of cute.
Oh, I'm going to have a look.
Like, he was kind of cute. Look, he looked like he'd been in trouble. I'm pretty sure they'd both been incarcerated at some point, but I was also like...
Holly.
Kind of cute.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Is it bad to talk about the dead and say that they were cute when they're alive? I don't know. I think it's worse if you're like, he was so ugly.
I don't know. We're going to do it anyway.
Unless they're ugly, I don't know.
Although we kind of said Ivan Milat was kind of cute in one of his photos, so...
Yeah, but he died in a diaper, so fuck him. Right? I'm almost getting to the juicy part, and then actually
you're not at the juicy part. I was like, fuck me, this story is
it's so long,
insane.
and that's why I'm like, I'm so sorry because I know it's so big. Maybe this was meant to be like a two-parter.
So big. You picked a good one.
Well, see, again, I picked it literally for one little cliche fucking thing, and it turned out to be everything else.
Yeah, that's
and then
insane.
the part which is coming up soon was just like this little thing. So he was also claiming that he fed her and gave her whatever she wanted. If she wanted anything, he went out and he got it. He was like, I got her whatever she wanted. It's like, I treated her really well. I went and got this, she wanted cigarettes, I went and got her cigarettes.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Well, apparently he did, because after he gave her cigarettes, like the idiot, she had tried to burn the container down because she was left in there just with it.
Yeah.
He said that he was surprised that she didn't die from asphyxiation or carbon monoxide poisoning because of the fire.
It's locked up and...
Because it's locked up. He said originally the container didn't have a roof on it, but he wanted her to be comfortable and stay dry and be warm, so he built a roof just for her because she really needed it.
It didn't have a roof on it.
Apparently. It's a shipping container. Of course it fucking had a roof on it.
Yeah.
But this is what he's claiming because he's a fucking idiot.
I bought a container with no roof.
Yeah.
And I padlocked the doors.
Right, but there's no roof.
Okay.
I make sense. The story ends up changing, or the plan ends up changing. He's decided that he can't drive her because it's close to Christmas now.
Yeah.
So he can't drive her to Tennessee. Like, how's he going to get there? He's going to tell his girlfriend he has to go to Tennessee.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't have enough time. It's not like it's a 1 hour trip. Apparently it's a few hours to get up there and then a few hours to get back.
Yeah.
On top of that, the weather had gotten bad because remember, it's December. For them, it's cold over there at that time.
Yeah.
So there could have been like black ice. I don't know if South Carolina snows. I don't think it does. Whatever.
He needs.
Here near is. But he decides, can't do that no more. And after she tried to burn the place down, he was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
He ends up shooting her in the back of the head. She dies. Good at no, she is gone. Apparently what had happened though, part that I missed, I was not going to say it, but
yeah.
Apparently she was so happy when he offered her a ride to Tennessee and the $4,000 that she gave him a blowjob. And then he's like, it was quite good too.
Oh, I fucking hate this.
This guy's so gross, right? So during this time, during the confessions, he then also admits, which they aren't sure he actually did, because some of it didn't really add up. They think maybe he was just claiming that I did. Back in 2003, in November. Mm-hmm. Now remember, he was working as a graphics designer from 2013 until November 2003.
Yeah.
In 2003, November, there was a motorcycle shop or a motorbike store.
Yeah.
And 4 people got shot to death.
Okay.
So the owner, and I'm going to get these people's names because I think when they're victims, they need to be.
Yeah.
Their voices, their names need to be heard.
Yeah.
So Scott Ponder, 30, the owner. His mum, Beverly Guy, who was 52,
Beverly.
and she was a Bev, right?
I like that name.
And she was the bookkeeper. She got the job as a bookkeeper because she just loved spending time with her son.
Oh.
She just wanted to be there.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
No, same, right? Brian Lucas, who was one of Scott's best friends, and Chris Sherbet Levin, who was 26, who was a mechanic.
Yeah.
All 4 of them were found shot dead.
Fuck.
What had happened, what he's claiming, and they can attest to the fact that he had been there because Scott's wife, who was also pregnant at the time, she had said that he had been a client of theirs. So he had been there a few times. She had seen him there. So she kind of corroborates the fact that it could have happened. This guy's a fucking idiot. At one time, he decided that he really needed to buy a motorbike, even though he had never driven one before, and he didn't know how to work the clutch. He didn't know anything. So he decided at that point that it was a bad decision. He ends up taking the bike back to the place and be like, I don't know how to ride this. Can I get a different bike? And they're like, oh my God, you're fucking stupid. Why can you not ride a bike? No, we're not giving you your money back, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, that's like buying a car and being like, I don't want it anymore.
I changed my mind. I don't want it.
Doesn't work like that, honey.
It really doesn't. And so apparently, according to him, they belittled him, they embarrassed him, they made him feel like a little bitch, because he was a little bitch.
He was a little bitch.
So he left. he ended up coming back another day because apparently he was jonesing and decided that he really did want a bike again.
Okay.
So he waited till all the customers left, where he went and said to Chris, I believe, hey, I would like to buy this bike. Chris was like, no problem. Todd was filling out the paperwork while Chris went out the back because they had to put the package together for them to take.
Yeah.
While he was kneeled down fixing up something on the bike, Chris was shot by Todd, who was standing over top of him and apparently just started filling him with bullets, because that's what you do. The others heard the commotion, and the mother was the one that came in first. Probably because as a parent, you want to protect your son, right? So you're going to be the first one. You heard gunshot bullets, you're going in there first.
Yeah.
Fuck everything else. So she went in, and he shot her, I think, 3 times in the chest. According to him, he said it wasn't my best work, it was messy.
Fucking piece of shit.
He was like, the pattern was shit.
It's not my best work. Fuck off.
So she ends up falling. He said she was kind of collateral damage and that he doesn't like collateral damage because, and I quote, it's not cool. He then shoots, I think it was the son, Scott, and then Brian. Brian was found a little bit further out because I think he was trying to get away when it happened. And then he was making jokes about it because apparently he was so close. Like when they heard, they both tried to gun it, but they were so close. He was like, they were so close they might as well have walked towards me instead of away from me. And then a customer was the one who actually found them, and he had called in 7 minutes early to be like, I'm on my way, I'll see you guys soon. They're like, yeah, no problem, man, we'll see you then.
Fuck that.
He knew them well and thought that they were pranking him because he saw them lying face down with blood. And he was like, you guys are being dickheads. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh my God, get up, you guys.
And he's even like, he pushes, I think, Chris with his foot, Scott with his foot, because he's like, get up, don't be a dick. Turns out he was dead. When he found the blood and saw that the blood kept pooling, he was like, fuck. You can even hear the actual call that he made to the police.
Not being mean, but wouldn't you see, like, the bullet wounds?
Yeah, but he didn't know if that was was a stage because he literally called in a few minutes before he was going to get there. So it's kind of
like, your brain doesn't want to think this is real.
It wouldn't. I would do that. I'd be like, you're just kidding. You're kidding. Haha, you're kidding. You're not dead. I'm dead. What? I don't get it. I don't understand. So after that happens, and he's confessed to that, at this point, he also talks about the killing that he did when he was 14 that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So there, I believe at this point, there's roughly 7 people that he is convicted of killing. So in the end, he does get charged for 7 consecutive life sentences. He's also charged for like 1 case of kidnapping, or 2 cases of kidnapping, a case of sexual assault, and some other like weapons violations or weapon issues.
Yeah.
But after this happens, they decide that they are going to go through his internet history because they, I think, just need to find out if there's more.
Yeah, and just see what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah. And he had actually claimed, apparently, that he was aiming for triple digits because he was already in the high double digits for how many people he had killed. Because he was also claiming that when he got his pilot's license, he was killing outside of America. So apparently they couldn't draw it back to him.
Yeah.
They said there's no proof of this happening. And they couldn't really confirm anything.
Well, that'd be hard. It's like, where is he gone? What's he... Yeah.
You don't know, right? So they searched his internet history and they found that he'd been buying equipment for crimes openly on Amazon. This is where the reviews come in. He would leave reviews on the products and he really was not afraid to advise what they were left there for. On a review for Master Padlocks, he wrote, "Solid locks. I have 5 on a shipping container." Do you remember the number I told you earlier?
Yeah.
5. So that obviously ties up, right? "Won't stop them, but sure will slow them down till they're too old to care." On a fixed blade knife, he wrote, "Haven't stabbed anyone yet, ... yet, ... but I'm keeping the dream alive, and when I do, it will be with a quality tool like this one, ... On another master lock, I think on more of a heavy duty one, he said, "Works great. Also, if someone talks back, go old school on them by putting it in a sock and beating them. They will not appreciate the hardened steel like you will. Works great on shipping containers."
Fuck.
On a shovel, He wrote, "Keep in the car for when you have to hide bodies and you left your full-size shovel at home. Does not come with a midget, which would have been nice."
I can't. What the fuck?
A midget and a baby shovel?
What the fuck?
I don't understand. This guy's so nuts. There were a bunch of different theories. This is pretty much it now.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of different theories about Kayla and Kayla's involvement, because ever after that particular time, people are claiming that she's not as innocent. Like, these are theories that people are throwing out there. But then I also think, if this person is a victim from this crime, how dare you?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucked.
You can't tell someone how they should react or how they should...
Or that you didn't do it, or you're involved.
After. Like, oh, she was cool, calm and collected, she must have been involved. No, you can't tell someone how to deal.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's how they believe that Megan died, because Megan didn't do the things that he wanted her to do, so he had no use for her. Because apparently what he had told Kayla at one point is, he also said, "I never raped her. I never raped her. I'll admit to everything else, but I never raped her. What she did to me was consensual."
She wanted it. Well,
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck off.
I don't know how she got the money, but she ended up winning like just over $6 million.
Good.
So she's wealthy now.
Yeah. Like, it's not going to fix it, but...
It's really not going to
But, like, fuck, you may as well have some money.
Yeah. Because apparently also the boyfriend that she had before, Charlie, I think, died of self-inflicted knife wounds. And she was also arrested for assault after the event. So people are like, maybe she's not. But you know what? Why would you also not think that she didn't suffer from any type of traumatic or post-traumatic stress disorder? Like, how do you think that was going to affect you? And if you have a man, like, maybe she did stab him, I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe he threatened her, or maybe he did something that kind of put her back in it. We don't know that kind of stuff.
That's actually really sad, because you could bring something bad from someone. No one's got a clean past.
No one.
And you could bring something bad forward
without knowing it.
After someone going through something so terrible. Fuck me, that's bad.
He was arrested on November 3rd, 2016. His convictions were weapon charges, 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, 1 count of criminal sexual assault. He was indicted on February 27th, 2017, and the penalty that he served, his penalty was 7 consecutive life sentences. He currently resides at the Broad River Correctional Institution.
Oh, I'm so mad.
It makes you angry when you hear about that kind of stuff.
And I'm going to be watching this stuff soon because I need to know, but I'm actually mad.
Yeah.
No, that was great. Not.
Sorry. Well, mine...
Fucking interesting, because I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
But... Fuck.
Mine wasn't as graphic as your last week's one. But, like, as far as, like, it's not like he took pleasure necessarily in torturing people. He just killed them.
Yeah. It almost sounds like he just wanted a sub.
Oh, he did, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why anytime he brought a couple, he just shot the man straight up. And because Kayla was able to be like, look, there was no warning, nothing bad happened. He literally just shot Charlie the second he came out.
He was just like, no.
Of the house.
And it's interesting because you think he would just kind of prey on single women or people that didn't have families. You know what I mean? Like, he could have...
You'd think that.
Organised it a bit better to someone that wouldn't go looking for this person.
Well, apparently there was a Waffle House he used to go to a lot, and I believe Megan worked there. And what had happened is people were so put off by him because he was so overtly sexual. Put a pin in that. At his work, people were also put off by him because he sat there at his desk watching porn for hours.
What the fuck?
And they would also claim that he would say some pretty inappropriate things that made them feel quite uncomfortable. Pin taken out. So he was back at the Waffle House. The male chef had to start taking orders because none of the females wanted to go near him.
That's fucked. I don't like him.
It's disgusting. But that, my friends, was the Amazon review killer. A.K.A. Todd Kohlhepp. Yeah, fuckface. Todd Christopher Fuckface. Todd Christopher Cold Hepatitis. Hepatitis C. C for cunt.
I'll take a C. C for cunt.
Take a C for cunt, please. Thank you. Lock that in. I'll have a vowel. That's messed up, hey?
That was great, but it was fucked. That was insane. But if you want to hear more of our awesomeness,
then don't forget, you little bitches, to follow us.
You little bitch.
You little bitch. follow us, and you can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Wine Time Mysteries, or drop us an email with inquiries or questions or little topics and subjects that you want us to focus on, and you can do that at winetimemysteries@gmail.com.
Please and thank you. Bye.
Please and thank you. Bye.
Bye.